Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think the more you think, the worse. So my personal feeling is I don't really read books. I haven't read books for like many years now. If I read a book, the books I'll read will be technical stuff that I need to understand, like let's say investing or software applications or something like that I'm interested in at the moment. But anything that's like, you should never think about your personal psychology. You should never even consider it. You should forget what happened yesterday. You should forget everything that's, I don't believe that you should dwell on any of it. The more you dwell on, and this is actually part of the theme of today's discussion, the more you dwell on something, the bigger and more real it becomes, you know? So just take everything on the chin and just move on. It's like, yeah, you become more attached to who you are. That's very true, Scott. You know, so if you guys have ever had something like a bad sales month, a bad week, we used to have this at consulting.com, by the way. We used to call it the 2-week phenomenon, right? Where it was either the first 2 weeks of the month or it was the last 2 weeks of the month were either good or bad. So if it was the first 2 weeks that there was zero sales, everything would really rest on your ability to control your emotions and just take it on the chin. Because when the good stuff came in the next week, after 2 weeks, when the good stuff came in, you have to be level in order to actually close those deals. Because if you take the first 2 weeks as a rule, then it ruins your whole month. But there's also the opposite. The opposite is the first 2 weeks are good. This is the other side of the phenomenon. The first 2 weeks are good. And then the last 2 weeks become bad because you get lazy. So it's a really weird thing in sales. Like we really noticed this. It was either the leads were bad in the first 2 weeks or they were really good and then the final 2 weeks were bad. So again, the best thing is just don't think. Don't think, don't dwell on it, don't attach yourself to it, just work like a robot. I always tell my salespeople, just become robots in the job. You know, you take your calls, you do your deals, it's easy. You're expecting them to close. You don't even celebrate your wins. I put a voice note about this once. I never celebrate my wins. Celebrating your wins is the dumbest thing that you can do, because what you're doing is you're programming yourself to make it an exception. It should not be an exception. It should be totally normal, you know, totally the norm. And when you're really upset, it's also bad because then you're on this roller coaster of up and down where really you want to be like an ambivert. You just want to be like level all the time. It's never too much. It's never too little. The thing is in this job, you're taking in so much emotions from people. It's like a feed. You get fed all of this shit from other people and you start to believe it. I had this other guy in a sales organization where he was like, it's just the price, man. It's just the price. I'm like, bro, the price is your problem. It's not the problem. You know, he went back on the Black Friday deals because we did a Black Friday with another organization and it did really well with the coaches, but the salesperson couldn't sell. And then he would come back to me and I'm like, man, because I dropped the price on them initially, they won't pick up my calls anymore. They don't want to buy the Black Friday anymore. I'm like, it's very difficult to get this across to someone, especially if any of you have ever, I think that we're dealing with an elite team at this point. Everyone's becoming really elite. It's really difficult to teach this to someone because it's a journey you have to go through on your own. You have to figure this out on your own. Nobody can tell you. I can tell you as much as possible, but you have to go through some experiences.